the morning.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a rainy Tuesday here, and honestly, the weather matches the mood of what we are about to discuss. We have been tracking the absolute chaos in Genoa City, and today we need to dive deep into the Abbott family drama. Grab a strong coffee because this is a heavy one. So let's just get right into the mess that is Billy Abbott and Jill Abbott. Because honestly, it is exhausting. But it is also the most fascinating car crash on daytime television right now. You know how it is with these two. Billy is Jill's son. So there is this incredibly strong maternal bond there. A bond that is basically forged in fire and corporate warfare. But it is always full of friction. Constant, never-ending friction. Jill always wants Billy to grow up. She wants him to control his ambition. She wants him to protect the Chancellor legacy. But Billy just cannot help himself. He always leans into his emotions. He acts on impulse. He wants to prove himself so badly. Especially when it comes to power and the company. And especially when it comes to facing off against Victor Newman or anyone else he thinks is stealing his rightful place. And right now, the tension is just off the charts. And the biggest sticking point right now is Chancellor. Billy is completely sucked into this ambition to win back or control Chancellor Industries. He is obsessed. But the alliances he is building around himself are so risky. The recent spoilers talk about Billy continuing to get dragged into this twisted game with Kane Ashby. And then Jill comes back to Genoa City at the absolute worst possible time. This highly sensitive moment, which could totally shift the balance of power. And it puts Billy in a really terrible spot. Emotionally, Billy probably thinks he is doing the right thing. He thinks he is fighting for his family. Fighting for his mother's legacy. But in Jill's eyes, he is just a liability. He is the guy who is going to ruin everything because he is too hasty. Jill loves Billy. We know that. But she does not trust his self-control. Not even a little bit. So that makes their mother-son relationship feel like a literal tug-of-war. Jill wants to protect Billy from himself. She has spent decades trying to save Billy from his own worst instincts. But Billy just feels like his mother has zero faith in him. He feels like she constantly looks at him and just sees a failure. A screw-up. The eternal disappointment. And that drives him crazy. It pushes him to do worse things. Aside from the Jill drama, Billy is also clashing hard with Jack Abbott. And that is over the Abbott communication stuff. And his relentless ambition to get back to Chancellor. Sources are saying Billy actually cut business ties with Jack. Why? Because Jack dared to doubt him. Jack suspected Billy was getting dangerously obsessed with taking Chancellor away from Victor. And Jack was right. But Billy didn't want to hear it. So this fallout with Jack just makes the situation with Jill so much heavier. Because Billy isn't just fracturing his relationship with his brother. He is making the future of Chancellor even more chaotic. He is burning bridges on all sides. Isolating himself. And when Billy gets isolated, he gets dangerous. Jack is no saint, but he knows a spiral when he sees one. And Billy is spiraling hard. To summarize the whole Jill and Billy dynamic right now, it is not about hatred. It is about a mother and son whose love is being brutally tested by power. By trust issues. By unchecked ambition. Jill wants Billy to wake up and protect the family legacy. Billy wants to prove he is strong enough to take back what he thinks belongs to him. But the harder he tries to prove it, the more he risks disappointing Jill. And the more he pushes himself into making a massive, unforgivable mistake. Let's talk about Jill's actual return. Because Lauren Koslow is stepping in for Jess Walton temporarily, and she is bringing this fresh, ruthless energy to the role. Jill comes back to town. She meets Billy and Kane at the GCAC. Billy and Kane had been getting these super vague, cryptic text messages from Snapper Foster's assistant. So they were panicking. They thought Jill was on her deathbed or something. But no. Jill shows up looking totally fine. She confirms she is healthy and getting great medical care. She admits she had to come back because of all the mess happening with Chancellor. And then she drops the absolute mother of all bombs on Billy. She tells him that Kane Ashby is running the company instead of Lily Winters. And Billy just loses his mind. Billy explodes. He starts demanding answers. He wonders if this was what Kane and Jill wanted all along. A secret little plot to ice him out. Jill doesn't even flinch. She admits she approves of Kane being the CEO, because Catherine Chancellor wanted that previously. And Jill is all about honoring Catherine's wishes right now. Billy is absolutely miserable about this. He is furious. But he tries to play it cool at first. He insists his priorities have changed anyway. Because Sally Spectra is pregnant and they are getting married. Jill is totally blindsided by this news. She didn't even know about the wedding or the baby. But she says she is happy for Billy if that is what he really wants. Billy confirms Sally is good for him. But then he pivots right back to his anger towards Kane and Jill. And Kane, being Kane, just has to poke the bear. Kane taunts Billy. He mocks Billy for always desperately craving Jill's approval. That just sends Billy over the edge. He unleashes his fury on Jill. He yells at her for never trusting him, for pulling Chancellor away from him. Finally, Billy backs Jill into a corner and demands to know why he is never good enough. He says he cannot move past this without a real answer. It is such a raw, painful moment. You can see the little boy inside Billy just begging his mother to be proud of him. But Jill is in full corporate boss mode. She has this new, decisive demeanor. She expresses deep disappointment that Billy isn't focused on the empire she built. She implies he is too distracted by his family life with Sally. Jill basically threatens Billy's entire future. She suggests she will find another heir. Someone who is less distracted. Maybe Kane. Maybe another Winters family member. Because Kane is the golden boy right now. Kane is the one Jill trusts. And Billy? Billy is just the wild card. This leaves Billy feeling incredibly threatened. He realizes his position and his power are slipping away. Jill tells him to think hard about his priorities. And leaves Billy standing there, feeling pressured and anxious. So what does Billy do when he feels backed into a corner? He lashes out. He does something destructive. And unfortunately, the person who is going to pay the highest price for Billy's feud with his mother is Sally Spectra, the woman carrying his child. This is where the story gets really, really dark. Because Billy is so desperate to prove his worth, he is so desperate to show Jill that he is a corporate mastermind, that he decides to stab Sally in the back. Billy secretly uses his access to Sally's highly ambitious business plans for Spectra Charles. He takes this highly sensitive, confidential information, and he leaks it. He leaks it to Sally's rivals. Or he uses it to profit himself in a completely different fashion venture. Sally is happily preparing to launch her new collection. She has no idea that the man she loves, the father of her baby, is secretly exploiting her hard work. Billy approaches Sally's competitors. He cleverly reveals key details. He plants the seeds for unfair competition. And at the same time, Billy secretly uses that intel to launch his own fashion project. He is doing all of this just to get leverage. To get money. To get a win that he can shove in Jill's face. Meanwhile, Sally's project starts hitting massive roadblocks. Her ideas are being copied. She is confused and panicked. Her collection launch is an absolute catastrophic failure. It causes severe financial losses. And it completely breaks Sally's spirit. She is devastated. She starts suspecting there is an internal mole. A traitor. And she starts looking at the people who had access to her plans. Billy is secretly gloating about his initial success. He got what he wanted. But the guilt is going to start eating him alive. Sally vows to find the person who ruined her. She is determined to get revenge. But why did Billy go this far? What pushed him over the edge to ruin his pregnant fiancée's dreams? It goes back to a secret Jill kept. The spoilers reveal that Jill's secret turns out to be an old agreement or an inheritance clause at Chancellor Industries that explicitly favors Kane over Billy. When Billy finds this out, he feels utterly betrayed. He realizes the game was rigged from the start. That no matter what he did, Jill had legally positioned Kane to win. This pushes Billy into a corner. It solidifies his resolve to backstab Sally. He convinces himself that he needs to prove his value. Or maybe he just wants to retaliate against the world. He starts viewing Sally's independent success as an obstacle to his own ambitions. He needs capital. He needs leverage to fight his mother and Kane. It is just so classic Billy Abbott. He is a guy who cannot handle rejection. When Jill rejects him, he detonates a bomb in his own life. He justifies destroying Sally's business because he thinks he is at war for his birthright. He thinks if he can build this massive fashion venture using Sally's stolen ideas, he can walk into the Chancellor boardroom and force Jill to respect him. It is delusional. It is toxic. But it is exactly how Billy's brain works. He is acting like a wounded animal. And a wounded animal bites whoever is closest. Right now, that is Sally. And Jack. He pushed Jack away because Jack saw the truth. Jack knew Billy was spiraling. Jack knew this Chancellor obsession was a sickness. So Billy cut him off. He isolated himself so nobody could stop him from doing the unthinkable. So what happens next? What kind of shockwave is Billy going to cause in his plan against his mother? I think Billy is going to try to burn Chancellor to the ground. If he cannot have it, he won't let Kane have it. And he certainly won't let Jill dictate the terms of his surrender. He wants to be the king of the ashes. It's sick. But it's true. Billy has all this stolen capital from Sally's ruined project. He might use it to launch a hostile takeover. Or he might fund a massive sabotage campaign against Chancellor's current operations. Imagine Billy using his insider knowledge to tank Chancellor's stock. Just to prove to Jill that she made a mistake by trusting Kane. Billy wants to force Jill to her knees. He wants her to beg him to come back and fix the mess he created. It is the ultimate toxic power play. But the tragic irony here is that Jill is literally fighting for her life. We know she has been having health issues. She played it off at the GCAC. She acted like she was fine. But we know she isn't. And Billy is so blinded by his rage and his ego that he cannot see his mother is fragile. He is waging a corporate war against a woman who might not be around much longer. And when the truth comes out, the guilt is going to destroy him. When he realizes he spent his mother's final months trying to ruin her company. And when Sally finds out he destroyed her business while she was carrying his child, Billy is going to have nothing left. No family. No fiancé. No company. He will be completely alone. Just a guy sitting in an empty room with his ambition and his regrets. Jill tried to warn him. Jack tried to warn him. But Billy Abbott never listens. He just acts. He reacts. He burns bridges and wonders why he is standing in the ashes. This whole storyline is just a masterclass in self-sabotage. And I am here for it, honestly. It is messy, it is clunky, it is painful to watch. But it is real. It is raw soap opera drama. And I cannot wait to see how Jill reacts when she realizes the monster she created in her own son is coming for her empire. It is going to be explosive. Just pure, unfiltered chaos. And Billy is going to be right at the center of it, holding the match.